Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. Ahead of the inauguration of the 10th National Assembly, the politics of choosing the principal officers is already in full swing at both chambers of the legislative body. Many of the moves to garner support have been subtle, while in some instances they have been less so, as the aspirants scale up consultations and desperate acts of horse trading usually associated with these elections. In fact, some aspirants have had to deny reports about sharing or promising $1 million to each member of the House of Representatives. In the Senate, the tone and the texture of the politics seems to be towing the line of regional zoning and alliances, especially for the office of the Senate President. We're now being joined for a quick discussion around this by Hilliard, Etta, a former national vice chairman of All Progressives Congress for the South-South geopolitical zone. We'll also try to get his own take on Buhari's legacies in addition to the agenda setting for the incoming government. Many thanks for being here. Now, let's just go straight into it. We know that Ramadan is coming to an end, and very soon we're going to be aware of who exactly is going to be vying for, these positions in the House of Senate and the House of Reps. But we know that the coalition of members-elect of the House of Representatives in the minority parties have declared their bid for the office of the Speaker in the National 10th Assembly. The Minority Caucus has stated that it is out to contest the speakership seats with the All Progressives Congress, claiming that the ruling party has lost its majority status in the 10th House after the supplementary 2023 general elections. I'd like to know what your thoughts are on this.
Thank you for having me. First of all, to my Muslim brothers and sisters, Baraka de Salah. I not a member of the House of Representatives. I'm not also a member of the opposition party. I am a member of the APC, and I am very sure that the party is working night and day to make sure that the leadership of the House of Representatives remains in the APC. Now, I have also read that the opposition party is planning to contest the speakership with the APC. I'm very sure that we are not folding our arms and not doing anything. So for me, when we get to that bridge, we will cross it. I do know that there are processes put in place by the party to make sure that the party emerges victorious in that contest.
Well, as you know, Northwest politicians are pushing for, the Senate presidency, despite concerns over, religious lopsidedness. Why is it important for the South-South to angle for the Senate presidency, especially at this time? I know that this morning, this day is reporting that there appears to be some sort of disagreement among the 70 senators-elect of the APC. Many of them are insisting that the position should be zoned to the Northwest.
Well, let me lay a background to the demand of the South-South for the position of this Senate presidency. You do know that at our last convention, that produced the national executive of the party, we adopted a principle whereby all positions that were held by the Northerners or by the North was brought to the South, and all positions held by Southerners and by the South was taken to the North. So we are, and you also are aware of the fantastic and patriotic role that the governors of the North, of the APC, played in insisting that the presidency should come to the South, having spent 8 years in the North. So we proceed from that premise that the positions that were held in government the past 8 years in the North is to come to the South. The same thing for the ones that were held in the South to go to the North. And having said so, when you come back to the southern part of Nigeria, the president-elect is from the southwest. So it leaves the south and the southeast with the possibility of the presidency of the Senate. Now, one of the challenges that we have in our party is the challenge of the reward system. And so many of our party members have always cried out that the party does not reward loyalty and hard work. And one of the reasons that most party members sided Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the last presidential convention was because they believe he is a man who rewards hard work and rewards loyalty. Now, if that is the case, we will now then juxtapose the contributions of the Southeast and the South-South to the APC as a party. If you take the presidential elections that was just conducted on the 25th of February, you will find that the South-South massively supported the APC. And there must be a reward for that hard work. There must be a reward for that loyalty to the party. In asking for this, we are not saying that the Southeast is not part of Nigeria, but we're just saying that in the APC, that the South-South has contributed enormously to the production of the president-elect as of today, who by the special grace of God will be the president of Nigeria on the 29th of May, and should therefore be compensated commensurately. Let us look at the results of the elections. The entirety of the South-South gave Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu 127,000 votes, whereas the South-South came only 1,000 short of 800,000 votes. Now, that has to be rewarded. Now, if bad behavior is not rewarded, then you cannot have people morally galvanized for the next contest, because a political party is set up for political contest. So it is on the basis of that. Now, let me also look at the people who have thrown their hearts into the ring for the Senate presidency, especially from the Southeast. If you look at distinguished Senator Orji Uzor, he scored 47,000 votes to become the winner of that election in the senatorial district, whereas Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu scored only about 6,000 votes in the entire Abia state. Now, if you go to Imo State, where Senator Isunaso comes from, Senator Isunaso scored 78,000 votes to become winner of that election in Imo State, whereas Asiwaju scored only 66,000 in the entire Imo State. Now, if you come to the South-South, distinguished Senator Godswill Akpabio is the one who has said he is running for the presidency of the Senate. Now, Akwa Ibom alone scored 160,000 votes Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu scored 160,000 votes in Akwa Ibom. Now, what Godswill Akpabio brought to the table is far more than what the entire Southeast brought to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu's election. Now, that must count for something. So that is why the South-South is saying, given the contributions of the South-South in this election, that the APC must reward it with the presidency of the Senate.
All right.
That is why we have thrown our, yes.
Okay, that's fine, yes. But a lot of people will wonder why you are reducing contributions to the number of votes and arithmetics of voting. Because Southeast, as you know, has only 5 states. South-South has 6. But of all the South-South states, it's only Rivers that delivered as a state. I'm talking as a state now, not cherry picking in terms of the arithmetics of who voted, who
Yeah.
didn't vote. You know, it's only Rivers State that delivered the whole state for Asiwaju. Even at that, is still in contention, given the revelations that are now coming out about the actual voting pattern that is on the IREV of INEC, which shows, according to reports, that indeed it will be one Rivers and not Asiwaju. But let's give it, let's leave it as INEC has declared it. In South, but in the Southeast, where there are only 5 states, at least APC has 2 state governors. Ebonyi delivered afresh, and Imo State is still there as an APC state. So when you make this argument about being rewarded for the number of votes,
listen, my brother, listen. We are talking about the presidential election. All elections, all politics is local. We're talking about the presidential election, and we're talking about a national office. Now you're talking about what IREF and what you have this tendency of bringing positions that are canvassed in the social media as if it is the gospel truth. The INEC has declared that the APC won in Rivers State. The Labour Party has gone to court. I think it is incumbent on you and I to leave the court to do its work. Now, for you to bring the assertion by some persons that the Labour Party won in the Rivers State does not do us any good. Please, I think that we should rest that matter and allow the court to adjudicate on the matter. Now, coming to the party, look, we have had 3 cycles of presidential elections, and the Southeast has consistently not given the party any hope that the APC has any reason to believe that the APC will be supported in any presidential election from the Southeast. Are you saying that the party should continue? Look, we did not have the Southeast come on board in 2015. We did not have the Southeast come on board in 2019, and the same thing in 2023. Are you now saying that the party should continue in that process of not rewarding people who contribute? I am speaking for my party. Now, I'm not saying that the presidency of the Senate, after the votes of the senators, will be cancelled simply because the South-South demands for it. I'm saying, as a South-Southerner, that efforts and loyalty must be rewarded in our party. That is the position of the South-South.
okay.
Thank you so much, Chief Hilliard, former APC National Vice Chairman, South-South.